now, let's welcome Moscow GT! And now, please welcome our referees from Germany, VODAFONE Connect, and from Lithuania, Kuriakos.
Bradley, can you explain us who are the players that we're going to meet in this great game? It's the first one of this championship.
Absolutely. So these two, certainly for the Sporting CP, you've got some really talented players on that side. We've got some Portuguese international players, the likes of Felipe Sacramento, who's a really key player for the Portuguese national team, and he's going to be a really key player for Sporting in CP. And then you've got the Brazilian, you've got who's going to be very exciting to watch as the tournament progresses. I think he's going to be fantastic as the tournament goes on and see how he develops, how he plays through each game in the tournament. As for Moscow GT, well, you've got the likes of Edward and Luri, Captain Wolfgang, who both of them making up the three players who are playing for Moscow GT in this one, alongside Dimitri Elin. For me, Sporting CP have got a strong team with lots of international players that can really make their mark on this tournament, and they'll be wanting to start strong, seeing as they're the hosts.
Do you think that having less players, it's a complex situation for the coach of Moscow?
Yeah, it's a disadvantage for sure, because it's obviously 3 players on the court at one time, so you don't have any substitutes, so they're going to be doing a lot of work throughout this tournament, Moscow GT, and with Sporting, with that big squad, you know, they can rotate and they can rest players if they need to, if they feel like they're in a strong position.
Allows other kind of tactics. And
absolutely, and they can recover and get stronger almost as the tournament goes on. As for Moscow GT, it's going to be tough with just the 3 players, but the Russian players, they're fighters. They will really try hard, and they'll put everything, certainly into this opening game, and they'll want to see if they can try and cause a bit of an upset.
It's going to be a special game, this one. We are seeing them getting hotter. They are training to know the court, of course.
Yeah, just going through some drills in either side of the court, and you'll notice the lines that are on the court. So they're divided into 3 sections. So you've got the 2 middle sections are the neutral area. So when the ball goes into those middle sections, that's where, when you maybe see a save on the goal line and the ball's just rolling forwards towards the halfway point, you'll notice the players scamper out and try and collect the ball, and then they can have another throw. And then the other side of that, you've got the landing area, and that's where the ball has to bounce into that landing area, and it also has to bounce into the neutral area as well. So that's how you make a perfect throw. And then you've got the orientation area, which is right in front of the goal, and that's where you'll notice the players maybe even switching sides. So you have a centre player and your 2 wings. And you'll notice throughout the games that the right-sided winger might move over to the left and try and cause a bit of a change and a bit of a different angle.
Imbalance the game.
Absolutely. So it'll be interesting to note the tactics of both Lisbon and Moscow GT throughout this tournament. And I think we're only a couple of moments away from announcing the 2 sets of squads on the court. As I'll get prepared to announce both of these squads.
Now it's the time of mind games and all of that, the touches and the positioning on the camp. Então vamos conhecer agora as equipas que vão jogar este jogo.
So it's now time to welcome the 2 squads out on court for this opening game, and we're going to start with the hosts, Sporting CP. Number 1, Liman Moreno. Number 3, Mario Marquez. Number 4, Adeli Sacramento. Number 6, Luis Miguel. Number 7, Thomas Joffrey. And number 8, Javier Salato. The coach, Marcelo Freya. Assistant coach, Susana Oliveira. And on the staff, Joaquin Villa. And now for Moscow GT, starting with number 5, Edward Pabukian. Number 1, Yuri Pabukian. And number 2, Dmitry. The coach, Svetlana Smirnova. Those are the 2 squads for the first game here. And now it is time to hand over some awards from the 2019 season, the European Gold Ball Awards. And we're going to start with Best European Coach from Sporting Lisbon, Marcelo Ferreira.
Estamos agora a entregar prémio de...
And now we have 2 players that made up the 3 of the Team of the Year. 2 players from Sporting Lisbon, Leon Moreno and Javier Sacramento. And for the best European coach, we have VODAFONE. Ladies and gentlemen, your European Goal Award winners.
So tell me about these prizes.
So these are the prizes from the 2019 season, the European Goal Ball Awards. And it comes no surprise to me, best European coach, Marcia Ferreira. You spoke to her this week. She's very exciting to listen to. She's really also engaging. And I think she's going to be very...
She loves all the process of leadership and obtain the maximum of these men and women in this sport.
Well, of course, the last time we were here, it was a double for the men's and women's in Sporting CP. So it'll be interesting if it happens again. Will it be a second time for Sporting CB as host? And if anyone's going to do it, Marcia Ferreira.
She's the woman to do it.
She's the woman to do it. She certainly is. And out of there's 3 players from the team of the year, and 2, as we announced there, from Sporting Lisbon, Moreno and Sacramento. The other one, which we will hopefully announce tomorrow from GC Perun, is Jan Bosak, who made up the 3 of the European team of the year. And then the other best European coach, Velma Vienczyk, who received an award out on the court. So those were the awards from the 2019 season.
Great. So we are 4 minutes for the beginning of the game. We don't have an audience. We have the other teams that are watching this game. Because of COVID, it's yet to have the audience that these teams need. Because I believe that the crowd is also an engaging factor of the game.
It certainly is. I mean, they can really get behind the 2 teams, and it's interesting goalball because, of course, when the ball is in play, it's silent.
Absolute silence.
And because, of course, the players really have to listen and hear out for the ball across the court. So it's very interesting. You can almost hear the heartbeats of the crowd and the players when the
tension.
Yeah, you can really sense it and feel it. So it's a really unique and interesting game, and in terms of the crowd engagement, of course, we get all the show with the players coming onto the court and creating an atmosphere.
What do you believe that they are talking to their players, the coaches?
I think
in these last words.
It'll be mainly just last words and just sort of going through the final instructions. And certainly from Sporting CP, this is a big occasion. Again, they're a host, the opening game. They'll want to make their mark and they'll want to try and get off to a good start. And I think Ferrer will just basically be saying to them, just play to your strengths, play how you usually play, and you will win this game. As for Moscow GT, well, the 3 players, of course, it'll be just work rate, maybe managing that work rate as well. But it's going to be a fascinating. You can hear the atmosphere that's in the crowd already for this first game. It's very exciting. I can't wait for this first game.
This war shout.
Yes.
Para si que está a ouvir esta transmissão e é falante do português, lamentamos o não poder acompanhar da mesma forma que estamos a falar na língua inglesa, mas é uma transmissão internacional. Temos aqui várias nações, temos as famílias, os adeptos a assistir nas mais variadas partes do mundo e por isso mesmo decidimos acompanhar esta transmissão falando em inglês e trazendo o Bradley, que é um especialista na área, para acompanhar o que de melhor se faz em goalball no mundo. I was telling them that you are the greatest in commenting.
Oh, that's very
goalball.
That's very kind. No, it's a sport that I've fallen in love with over the last few years, and very excited.
Maybe he can say 90 seconds. Okay. Next time, okay?
So we're just under a minute
50
to go.
seconds to go.
Here we go. You can feel the tension already. as we get
You can
underway.
cut the tension with a knife.
You certainly can. So the three players on the court for Sporting who are going to start this one for Sporting CP. We have number 1, Leoman Moreno from Brazil. Number 3, Mario Marquez. And number 4, Hadley Sacramento. So they're the three I'd have expected them probably to start. Strong players. And of course it will be fascinating to follow Leoman Moreno, who is a Brazilian who I have not actually had the pleasure of watching yet, so I'm excited and intrigued to see how he gets on.
This is an interesting part of the pre-game. They are checking for no light can be seen.
Absolutely.
Because some of the players are not completely blind. They have little vision, but they are checked and confirmed that nobody can see anything.
Absolutely, yeah. So all the players on the court will be wearing eye shades, and they'll all have those checks which they have gone through, and we are about to get underway. The first game here of the Super European Goalball League Champions
Now we're going to
League.
whisper because we need the most of silence possible.
You'll hear the referees say quiet please to the crowd if there is too much noise. So 12-minute halves, and we'll go through any new rules. We've got 2 new rules for you for this Super League Champions League, and we'll go through them as the game goes on.
And new technology
technology.
being implemented.
It's a huge step.
This next few days are going to be. We are making history here in Oliveira.
Absolutely, and here we go. This is the moment we've all been waiting for, the first game. And you'll hear the voices of the referees. So it's going to be Moscow to throw first. Lukian on the 5 goes down the centre. It's a good save down to the right, and a long ball called already. That's the first throw, and it's already a long ball called. So a long ball means that it's hit the landing area and it's gone over both of the neutral areas. It's got to bounce in both areas to count as a correct throw. So we're going to get a penalty. So it's only one person in the goal for Moscow. Moreno's going to have the chance to throw to open the lead for Sporting. It's into the corner, and it's a great start for Sporting CP. First throw from Sporting CP, and
9 seconds after the beginning of the game.
It's the perfect start, and I'm sure Marcela Ferreira that'll be the dream start for her. So Moscow will once again start with the ball. Yuri Pamrukian just hands the ball over to Dimitri. Dimitri goes for it for the left, down the left corner, blocked. And now a chance for Leoman Moreno, the Brazilian 28-year-old. Bit of a bobbly bouncing one that's comfortably saved in the end. Moscow G will want to try and reply quickly. They'll want to try and get into this one. Down the centre of the court it goes, comfortable in the end for Sporting. That's an awkward one to defend, saved with the legs. In the centre, right. Pamrukian. It was Yuri Pamrukian in the centre. Here is Eduard Pamrukian who goes down the centre, and it's a great finish from Eduard Pamrukian on this right side. He went through the centre, it bobbled over the legs.
Less than a minute and 2 goals.
A quick start. This is what we would have wanted. This is the perfect start to this men's Champions League. Of course, we have the men's and women's Champions League, but it's all about the men's. Down the centre it goes, saved. Yuri Pamrukian down the centre. Down the hands by Sacramento on the
playing on the right side. Goes out, goes past the right post. So you'll notice that the clock does stop every time the ball goes out of play. And now the referee says play, and we can now continue. Fizzer down to that far right side. Side out of play from Sacramento, so it's wide. Restart here for Moscow. Of course, it's the first game, so you may get a few shots that go wide and just trying to work their way into the game, comfortable in the end. In the centre.
You need to get used to the court.
You do, absolutely. Reply here from Moscow down the centre, saved comfortably by Moreno. He replies quickly. Comfortable in the end though for Pambukian in the centre. Yuri Pambukian, who's going to respond. Comfortable save here from Yuri Pambukian. Fizzing effort, saved down to the left really nicely by Moreno.
It's surprising the way that they know where the ball is.
It's the attention to detail where they're listening. The ball bobbles, it bounces and into the goal.
Go to Scotland.
And Sporting have responded. It's their second of this first half, and it is Limo Moreno who gets it.
We see the trainer of Moscow shouting into the field. Giving some instructions, I believe.
Yes, so giving some instructions, but she's got to make sure she's not coaching and not telling the players almost as when the ball is going on. She can give out advice, but she's got to be careful. But at the moment, pacing up and down the touchline. Response here from Moscow, stopped. There's also now a 10-second counter. That's part of the new rule, so there has to be a response inside 10 seconds to get the ball at the other end. It's a good save over the crossbar.
It goes over there. It's the game that you are expecting?
It's closer, certainly in this opening couple of minutes. Moscow are keeping out Sporting CP, although I'm not surprised Sporting are leading, I would say, in this first half. But the power they generate in the throws from Sporting is quite remarkable.
Different techniques?
Different techniques, so of course you'll get players who opt to go for a 360, they'll turn on a 360 and throw. Others just a simple run up, maybe the 180 degree spin. But that's how you generate the power. Now the ball was just thrown out there from Yuri Pambukian as he was fearing that the shot clock might be against him there. Just didn't have the orientation too sure of the position on the court. So it's going to be a ball over here for Sporting. Oh, off the crossbar.
So close.
Very close off the rib cage from Yuri Pambukian. Fizzing effort down the centre of the court. You get these different attempts, some that will really bounce.
It's a goal. If the ball goes... I'm gonna try to see it again. Yeah, it was a goal.
It is. It's 3-1 to Sporting.
See it right there. And now I think he's going past it. Yes, it's an auto goal.
It is an own goal, and that is really unfortunate.
Yeah, and they asked for a timeout to reconvene, I believe. So now it's 3-1 for Sporting.
It is, and all that good work that Moscow have put in the opening 4 minutes to concede an own goal is not what you want. But can they respond straight away? No, they can't. Good save in the end. Sacramento looks to try and fizz one down this near side, and it's blocked. Dimitri responds. High ball called from the referee, so it's a penalty here for Sporting. So after a controlled opening couple of minutes from Moscow, it's all starting to unravel a little bit.
Now is where the mind starts playing tricks now.
Absolutely. And Sporting now have the chance with a penalty with Liam Moreno, who is going to have the opportunity to increase the lead to 4-1. Can he do it? Oh, he does. Expertly done from Liam Moreno. And after a tight opening couple of minutes, Sporting CP just showing their class.
Timeout.
Timeout call from the Russian coach Svetlana Smirnova, and they need this, Moscow, after conceding those 2 goals, an own goal and then a penalty. You can start to sometimes just get a little bit dog-knotted and just start to unravel.
They need some motivation from their coach.
They certainly do. Yeah, they just need to also relax into the game. It's very easy once you're in a mode where you're conceding goals quickly that you just want to quickly reply and try and...
it's a game that a lot of goals can happen really quickly.
Oh, he does. Expertly done from...
10-0 in minutes. It's because when you lose your mind, and they need to be focused on the sound of the ball, so they need to be really focused. So this timeout could be really tactical for them to clean their minds and their senses.
Start again. It's a restart almost. Dummy run. Looking down the centre. Oh, that's a good feminist effort that's blocked. Gets into the neutral area, but it's well claimed in the centre. Mario Marquez. Out to play. Now, as we were talking off air, of course, Sporting CP are the hosts, and they'll want to get off to a perfect start. 4-1 up inside just under 5 minutes is a perfect start. Save down to the right, comfortable. Just diving to the right by Sacramento, the 36-year-old Portuguese international, played at the European Championships recently in the last couple of years. Oh, again, Sacramento. So the players, of course, on the hands and knees, so they can really sort of jump towards the ball.
Like cats.
Yes, absolutely.
Big cats.
Big cats. By the centre, it bobbles up in the air, hits the back.
And
Van Bukian, and out of play. But it came out of play in the Moscow half, so it will be Moscow will have the throw. Comfortable save, mid-riff from Moreno.
And
Marquez looking to go down the centre. So timeout here, that's officials timeout, as
there was something in the ring. The court.
yeah,
Because they need to be really sensitive to the lines.
You will, during the half-time break, they'll have people who will come and mop the floor because there could be sweat on the floor, it could be water, so they need to dry on the surface. Hamburkins gives it to Dimitri. Dimitri flings one, it's out straight away. Eduard Hamburkian down the centre. Timeout call from Sporting, so just a chance to regroup. And the one thing that will be really interesting as the game goes on, we talked before the game that, of course, Sporting have a lot of players, so they can bring players on and refresh. whereas Moscow don't. They have 3 players that have to continuously play in the games.
And continuously be focused.
Absolutely.
Which is I think the hardest.
And as the volunteers just come on and they'll sweep the floor and they'll get rid of dust and sweat and water.
The Russians have hydrated. It was really interesting to see the coach running towards them and give them water, because I believe that it's hotter in Lisbon than in Moscow at this time of the year.
Yes, the arena here. And over there, it's relatively warm. It'll be warmer here, like you said, compared to Moscow. Ball just loose. A few seconds remain on this 10 seconds. He's got to throw quickly. He does. Down this near side, goes over the halfway line. Ball over to Moscow. Sporting CP, they were the winners in the Men's and Women's Champions League back in 2019, and they're getting off to a great start in this first game. Sacramento, good save down on this near side from Moscow. Well kept in the end, but they've got to throw quickly. Can't take their time.
Time is against them.
It certainly is. Diagonal throw down to this near corner for Sporting. Comfortable in the end. So, ball over to Sporting. Clock just went against them this time. One thing to note, of course, they are 12-minute halves, but of course the clock does stop every time the ball goes out of play, so the halves almost feel longer in that sense. It's 12 minutes of playing time,
Yeah,
but it could be easily 16 to 18 minutes.
it's probably more fair this way. The tactic counts to play with the time, so the playing time is the playing time.
Brazilian, oh, it's a good effort, it bobbles into the back of the net.
5-1.
It's Moreno who adds another to his tally.
And you can see it now again.
The composure from Moreno and the power he can get on that throw is quite something.
And it's a really heavy ball.
It is. Yeah, it's a heavy ball. Of course, there is a bell inside the ball so the players can hear it. And it's heavier than it looks, for sure.
A lot heavier than it looks. It's a compound that resembles the basketball.
Correct.
But
Oh, off the post. Fizzes across the orientation area and out on this near side. That was a fearsome effort.
he made the move.
And that's when you know a throw is powerful, when the goal even pushes back because of the power. Trickles out of play. Restart here for Moscow.
Oh. The composure of this defense. It looks like they are infinite. They multiply.
Yeah, they've got a game plan of Sporting, and the defence is just as important as the attacking goal ball. Oh, and as soon as I say, and Moscow get one back, and they needed that, Moscow.
But it's going to bring a new dynamic to the game because they will believe that they can do it. So they will push harder, I think.
Absolutely. It's an awkward one, but it's defended really well from Sporting. Oh, what a throw!
What a comeback. 6-2.
That is the sign of a great team. You've just conceded and you want to hit back. And that was a fearsome throw. A great reply from Sporting CP into this far right corner.
But it was a risk also because it could easily been out, but they put it right in the limits of the goalkeeper.
They're the best throws when they just creep inside the side netting. They're so hard to defend against. Brilliant work with the feet, and that is something you'll notice with the defence. They stretch out, they use the legs as well to really stretch out and prevent the ball. It's almost like creating a wall in front of the goal line.
That can't be too low.
That's where the specific type of throws where you can get a bit of bounce and it can go over the legs. Yeah. But it's hard. It's hard to generate, certainly with the weight of the ball, to get the bounce. Comfortable block, but it's going to be a ball over here for Moscow. So 2 minutes remaining of this first half, and it's Sporting that leads 6-2. Oh, it's another brilliant effort. And that is something that couldn't happen to this Moscow team as the game wears on. They could get a little bit tired as well. It's been a long day for the
timeout.
First game.
Timeout.
They're asking for a timeout. They're not going to get it. Not in time. And it's a wayward throw this time from Eduard Pabukian. And we're going to see our first substitution here for Sporting. And it's going to be Luis Miguel who's going to come on, and he is replacing number 1, Leoman Moreno.
And this is when the Moscow starts to viewing his life being more complicated, because they are changing, they are bringing fresher players, and they are tired. So
absolutely, that is the benefit that Sporting have. Like you quite rightly mentioned, that they can bring on a fresh player. And there we go already.
8-2.
It wasn't the new player, but
let's see. We can see what happens.
Mario Marquez in the centre. 8-2 already. What a first half this has been for Sporting. Just underneath the body.
A lot of confusion in the Russian defense.
Quick reply. Muvkin, it just bobbles and bounces it into the back of the net. Now that is the response that Moscow would have needed, and the head coach, Slavina Smirnova, hands on her knees, getting behind her team. Great atmosphere as well.
Saying them something like, believe, we can do it still.
Absolutely. You've got to believe, you can't give up.
And out. And the speed is increasing, I think. They are doing more and more speed balls.
Absolutely. As the as the Moscow players start to tire, this is the opportunity now for Sporting to really take advantage, especially with a fresh player on, Luis Miguel, number 6, who is onto the court in place of Moreno. What's most impressive about Sacramento for me is he's got a really powerful throw, he's a really good attacking player, but defensively as well, so solid, so solid.
It's a very complete player.
Absolutely. Into the final minute then of this first half. Yuri Pambukian, a really good diving save down to the left in that far corner of the Sporting goal. Sacramento with a throw, comfortable again. Pambukian in the centre, and it's now Eduard Pambukian who's going to reply for Moscow, the Russian.
Just saved off the goal line. It's really an incredible skill when you can save it once and then save it again already.
It's an awkward effort to save, and it is saved just on the goal line.
And an out. And the end of the first part.
There goes the hooter then for half-time in this opening game of the Super League, Super European Goalball League, Champions League. And the hosts, Sporting CP, lead at the end of this first half, and it's been a really impressive first half for Sporting.
8-3. It was expected?
I believe so. Sporting have got a strong overall squad. They can change players, of course, and get fresh legs onto the court. Moscow with just those 3 players, and Sporting have got some really good, talented international players as well. So, and you know, as hosts, you know, they'll be really excited. They'll really want to try and get that first 3 points on the board. They are in Group A, so they are supported Sporting CP, Invrasport, Entity Sport from Finland, GC Perun of Czech Republic, and Moscow GT of Russia. That is Group A, and this is the first game of Group A, the opening game here in Portugal.
So this is the time that we ask for everyone who is watching this broadcast to tell us where you are. Go to the chat and say where are you listening from, so that we can give a shout or something like that. And we have at this time something like 75 people watching. So tell us where are you from, and which of the teams are you following and believe that you're going to be the champion of this Super League?
Absolutely. Well, there's lots of followers all over Europe and even over the world. There'll be people who will be tuning in to this Champions League. It's the chance where all the best clubs in Europe all come together. It's a real high standard of club goalball, as we just have under 2 minutes of
it's a really small of time.
It is.
They don't have a lot of time to change the tactics or to give them information or something like that.
Absolutely, yeah. It's only a small matter of time to have that opportunity to get across your tactics,
and the Moscovites are already in place. They have like 1 minute 30, but they are already in place and the Sporting also.
So Moscow ready.
We have here someone saying Moscow #1. So I think we have someone who is shouting for Moscow. and he has a name that I can't even try to. Yeah, okay, there. But also we have from Portugal, Vamos Sporting, which is something like let's go Sporting.
Let's go Sporting.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic to have people
Not today, my friend.
from all around Europe watching this. It really is an absolute joy to be broadcasting this to you, and what is going to be a really entertaining couple
I
of
believe
days.
that we are only on the starting point of what is going to be a next few days full of great games. I believe so.
Yeah, it's well worth trying to watch as much as you can over the next couple of days.
So everything in the court was checked, and we are 20 seconds to starting of the second part of this Sporting Moscow.
Absolutely.
They don't change courts now. I thought that Sporting should be on this side on the second part.
Yeah,
Just proves that I don't understand anything about blue ball.
Well,
yet.
no, normally in the European Championships that I followed, they do switch halves, but maybe for this tournament they've decided that they just want to stick. Maybe it's a COVID protocol, maybe.
Something like that. Probably. Tomorrow we will tell you all about this.
Yes.
We're gonna ask to the organization, and we'll tell you why don't they change, or should they change. I can tell you the score, Ricardo Soares. Now it's 8-4 to Sporting. No, 8-3. Oh, sorry. 8 for Sporting, 3 for Moscow GT.
And we're going to get this second half underway very shortly. Referee just going through the protocols. So in comes Javier Serrato, who comes on.
So now, silence please. Play.
You're refereeing.
I'm trying.
First throw then, this one from Javier Serrato, goes wide. But it is really interesting to hear the referees. They have to be so engaged in the game, of course, calling quiet and watching for the long balls and high balls. Good block.
It's not easy being a referee of Google.
You really have to watch as the ball bounces you.
And a goal.
And there it is from Sporting, that's the ninth. What a start to this second half. Not the start that Moscow would have wanted in this second half. Mario Marquez on that far side of the court on your screen with a fizzing effort down that far court side. Comfortable block. Here it is, Mario Marquez in the centre. Oh, it's an awkward bouncing one, just landing on the edge of the landing area. Response here from Moscow.
And a goal.
Into the back of the net. Well, Moscow are replying. They sure are giving it a real good fight. They're not going down easy, that's for sure. But they have a lot of work to do if they want to catch up on the scoreline. Fizzing effort blocked. Comfortable down the centre for Sporting. So going down that far side of the court then, looking to whip it just right of centre, comfortable block.
Great kick. What happened?
It's just an official's timeout, just to check the eye shades of Mario Marquez, number 3.
It was such an impressive keep. I think that the eye shade went up with the movement, so they needed to check it.
They also have the eye shades and they'll have patches over their eyes as well. That's just for comfort and, of course, just protective of the eye as well.
Out.
Responsive out of Pavunkian.
Whoa.
Bobbles into the air. Comfortable save though in the
This
end.
is dangerous. This kind of move can be.
One thing that Moscow will want to try and avoid is to not get frustrated, because when you get frustrated, your shots, your throws normally go wide and you lose your temper. So it's just all about staying calm.
They are trying guns for the corners.
Yes. Straight down, a diagonal throw there to the bottom near
Which are
corner.
harder to defend. And
And that is the 10th for Sporting. Javier Serrato gets on the score sheet, is double figures for Sporting. A long way back now, this for Moscow.
and the game stops if they have 10 goals difference or something like that.
Yes, that's correct.
If they get to 14 at this point, the game
will
stops.
Yeah. So just over 9 minutes remaining. Blocks with the legs, great block. Just sort of sandwiching the ball onto the floor. There's the reply from Serrato.
And 11.
And it's a long ball called against Javier Serrato, so it's going to be a penalty here for Moscow and a chance to get to 5. It's going to be Erin Dimitri who's going to have this one, standing in the centre of his goal for Sporting. Javier Serrato of Spain, the 31-year-old. Oh, brilliant block. He guessed correctly. Just didn't get the power, and I think we're starting to notice maybe a bit of fatigue and tiredness now in the throws.
No, he kept it.
He did, just on the goal line. It was good work in the end from Javier Serrato. He responds with a throw for himself. Moscow to reply. Oh, it's brilliant work in the end on the goal line. Good teamwork. Interesting to see who finishes up as the top scorers in the men's champions.
What happened? I think they passed the time. Was it? Three, two, no. Don't know what happened.
Diagonal effort goes wide at the right post on the far side of the court.
They are tuning in the angles.
Yes. And those shots, well, they're the easiest to save, just to the centres, the right and left, because you also have the wingers who can combine together to save those throws. You want to aim for the corners, you want to try and get one-on-one.
And
Ooh, just kept out in the end on the goal line.
it's in plays like the one before that we see that there's a little star over the champions. Because even in the hard moments, there's something that in the last minutes protects them.
Yeah.
We have a way to say in Portuguese, it's a estrelinha do campeão, the little star of the champion.
Ah. Well, they're certainly playing at the moment like champions. I know we're only into the first game, but you do get the feeling that potentially Sporting could go all the way again. They're going to be a strong team to face for anybody in the men's side of the competition. Ooh, that was an awkward one to save, and he did really well in the centre. That was Mario Marquez, the Brazilian.
We have someone saying that the jerseys of the Russian players are really cool. We can maybe try to ask them if they send you a signed one.
Yes.
Or something like that.
We'll try and get Edward and Yuri Babuchian and Ellen Dimitri to try and sign a jersey for you. It is a nice jersey, actually. It's a nice
the
top.
colors are really beautiful because they remind us.
And of course, you have the famous green and white stripes of Sporting. Of course, the football club Sporting Lisbon as well. And that is where we are, here in Lisbon. Of course, the hosts.
6 minutes to go. Sporting is winning by 10-4 to Moscow GT. And
now it's 11.
It's 11.
And now it is 11, and they are 3 away from securing this game. And again, it will be that word. It will be just fatigue and tiredness for this Moscow GT
and now
team.
they are starting to letting go. It's usual and it's reasonable. And an out.
Sacramento with the throw. Blocked wide to the left post. Oh, it's a really good effort. And Moscow have responded once again.
And everything starts all over again.
It does. Sporting can't just quite finish Moscow off, and it's credit to Moscow that they are hanging on in there and they're keeping the game alive. Absolute credit. Blocks, and it fumbles on the goal line, and it's saved in the end. Javier Serrato. Here is Sacramento with the throw. Timeout called, and immediately Savitla Smirnova gets the water bottle, takes it onto the court, keep the fluids up. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
This is for Moscow. They're having to put in a big effort.
At each timeout, we see the volunteers cleaning up the court, the trainers trying to keep their athletes hydrated. It's a lot of things going on.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's a really important time as when there is a timeout called. You've got like you said, the sweeping of the floor, making sure the surface is right, and getting that team. There's such a limited amount of time trying to get your message and trying to tell your team what you think they should do. It's a skill.
Yeah.
So just under 5 minutes then remaining of the opening game of the Champions League, of the men's side of the competition, and Sporting on course. Just a technical
The referee
timeout.
is asking for mopping up the floor.
There could be just maybe drips of sweat maybe, which I'm not surprised with the work that the Moscow players have had to put in, that they will be sweating. It's been a hot day here in Lisbon, and the arena is relatively cool, but it's still.
And we need to remember our viewers that Moscow has 3 players that are there from the start to the end of the game.
Absolutely.
There's no one to change or no one to replace. So it's normal that they are more tired or more sweaty than Sporting.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've seen plenty of changes for Sporting throughout the game, which is an asset, and it's going to be a real booster for Sporting as the tournament goes on, to have the fresh faces onto the court. Good block. Comfortable block in the end, though. Oh, brilliant finish. It fizzed along the surface.
12.
Will Moscow reply again, though? That's the big
The
question.
Moscovites are being real heroes. They are defending and they are attacking like heroes.
Yeah.
But the Sporting is keeping the game tidy up.
Out of play. Quick response, good save. Just didn't get the accuracy and the angle that
Trying to surprise the opponent.
Yeah, with a quick response, but just didn't get the accuracy.
Timeout for Moscow. The trainer has something to tell them.
So timeout called.
The referees keep watching the players just to check that everything is by the book.
Absolutely. And they'll be also just making sure the volunteers get the floor tidied and swept to how they'd like it. So just under 4 minutes remaining. And it is Sporting who lead the way, 12-5. Just a reminder, of course, we will be back tomorrow. First game here in
9 a.m.
9 a.m. start. Infrasport Ukraine versus IST Sports of Finland. That comes from Group A, and that'll be our first game.
And you can watch it in YouTube. So press the link below and book it already. There's a reminder of the starting of the game already, and the playlist for all of the games until Sunday, where we'll find out who's the champion in the males and in the females.
Absolutely. It's going to be a really interesting, fascinating couple of days. And Sporting have made their mark in this first game, leading 12-5.
What happens? Oh no, they are changing.
Substitution.
And it's again some pressure on the Russians because it's another player, fresh player, and they are still tired and they can't change.
Absolutely. Adili Sacramento comes off and he is replaced by Thomas Delfim. Another Portuguese international, Thomas Delfim.
Who is fresh and with intel from their coach. And it happens.
What a start! He pumps his chest. He's really happy with that one. Thomas Delfim, what a start!
13.
And that is that international quality. Coming on and being replaced by another brilliant international player. Ooh, just past the post. Good effort from Dimitri. It's an awkward one to defend, but defend they do, Moscow. Oh, and it goes in. And again, Moscow reply.
And that's why I call them their heroes, because they don't give up. Until the end of the game, it's a possibility they will try it.
Technical timeout. Mario Marquez just wants to have his eye shades checked by the referee. But quite rightly, as you mentioned, it's real credit to Moscow that they come back into the game and they don't give up, and that could be a massive asset and a big factor for them going forward for other games.
And I think they will win the crowd because everybody likes the one that never gives up.
Absolutely. Their next game is up against GC Brune, and that'll be at 12 o'clock tomorrow for Moscow GT.
And 1 hour later, we'll have Sporting playing again with Aisti Sport.
Aisti Sport's coming, that's at 1 o'clock. Lots of really good games on tomorrow. Oh, it's into the back of the net. It's another one for Moscow.
7.
Well, Svetlana Smirnova will be delighted with Moscow for not giving up and for hunting for goals.
2 minutes and 30 to go.
Comfortable save in the end for Yuri Pamukian. So into the closing stages then of this opening match, and Sporting CP are close to victory, although Moscow
doesn't give up until the last breath.
It
can give them that.
The fitness levels is a credit to Moscow. In terms of the intensity they're still putting in. And here is another substitution and for Sporting.
And Sporting is changing again, but at the same time, the coach of Moscow is giving them instructions.
Yeah, it's
because I believe with the change of players, they need to change the way that they defend. I believe
certainly, there's different players have different styles. Luis Miguel comes on for Sporting CP. Thomas Delfin with that throw. Reply here for Moscow. Good save. Maybe a Serrato in the centre. wind along the surface. It can be quite hard to stop those ones, but you can't really hear the bell in the ball as it fizzes along the surface.
And at the same time, the weight of the ball can hurt you. I believe that at the end of a game like this, you have some muscles complaining.
Absolutely, I think they'll be wanting to have a bath later on. First game.
30 seconds to go.
And it's Sporting who have got the points, but can Moscow just add another goal to their tally? Oh, just wide from Moscow. Well, they haven't given up in this game, and they deserve a huge amount of credit, but so does Sporting. It's been a professional performance. Timeout with seconds to go, so this means that this will be the final throw of this game after the timeout.
5 seconds to go. Both of the teams are receiving their last instructions.
From Moscow's point of view, they'll want to try and keep this out. 13-7 is with only 3 players against a strong Sporting team. It's a credible performance. It's a good performance. Now you'll notice just finally that the players on the hands and knees, they're touching the lines, because in those white lines they have a wire or
Something 3D.
yes, so they can
It's
feel.
sensible.
Yeah, so they can feel and orient
second.
themselves. There we go. That is full time here in the first game of this Super European Goalball League, Champions League from the men's side of the competition in Odiveles. It's a comfortable victory for Sporting CP by 13 goals to 7.
And now we're going to see the famous Sporting shouts.
The togetherness of that group, they've obviously got a strong bond, strong
You
heart.
see them working together, going together, arriving together in these hours before the game. We saw them lunching together and training and warming up to what could be the first victory of the tournament, and it was.
And the grace and the honour as well at the end to clap their opponents. There's real respect between the teams.
And they deserve it.
They
both
do,
of them.
absolutely.
It was a great game, played until the last second. And we believe that tomorrow we will have games as good as this, or even better.
I think so. I think we're in for a real treat over the next couple
For
of
tomorrow's
days.
agenda, what are the great games that we can expect?
Well, Hansa, there will be a really interesting watch. RGC Hansa, they're based in Rostock in northern Germany. They hosted the European Pool A Championships, international tournament back in 2019. So that'll be really interesting to see how RGC Hansa get on, but there's also a lot of really interesting teams that I haven't actually been able to have the chance to watch yet, and I'm fascinated to see how they come on. Sporting CP, I've seen a few of their players internationally, but it's going to be really interesting as the day goes on and as the tournament goes on to follow the tournament,
Because
follow the players.
this dynamic of clubs is
Yes.
really different.
It really is interesting, as we talked about earlier with Sporting. They've got Portuguese, Spanish and Brazilian players all coming together, and there is a mix in between all these teams, and it will be really fascinating to follow how the teams play, certainly with the time that's been taken out because of the pandemic and coming together and maybe not having the time to train as much as they'd like. So I think all the games are going to be really interesting, but tomorrow of course it would be fascinating to see how Sporting get on, Hansa, and of course we'd like to see how Moscow gets on in the next game, because they put on a real good show and they had a really good fight in that game, and it'll be fascinating to follow how they get on.
Our broadcast starts at 9 a.m. Portuguese time and English time.
Yes.
Also. But both of them.
Yes.
And we'll end at the last game, I think, at 8 or something like that.
Correct.
Because, yeah, and at 9, the last 9 will end up something like 9. So we are expecting that everyone that's watching this game wants to watch the others, and we'll be here broadcasting to you and commentating to you. And from Lisbon, Odivelas, we say goodbye to you and see you tomorrow.
See you later.